Messages from the rack. I just heard a ding. That tells me you must have finally slid a plate under the dungeon door for me. Thank you, it's nice to be seen. I haven't been able to get to it yet because I'm still strapped to the rack in here, but I was able to get this message out at least. I don't know what scraps you've tossed into my cell, so here's based on what I've had available for me to digest, while I have begged and pleaded for you to bring me some morsel of insight to stave off the pains of hunger inside your dungeon. You have not given much for me to digest, and so I must wonder if your plan has not been to deliberately starve me from the beginning. So, unlike my words which, if you can't block and protect yourself from them, you disregard and ignore, your words are well studied and reflected upon by their intended audience. The paradox that I've observed, however, is that when I confront you with my earnest analysis of what I have been able to decrypt from what little you share, you refuse to even acknowledge my request to confirm one way or the other if my understanding is in accordance with what you are actually communicating. While, on the other hand, you are free to randomly choose things that I may have said at one time, apologized for, and even made changes in my patterns and behaviors for years, but you will act as though it is current. What? Why are you digging around in your old nonsensical resentments, as if they had never been addressed, while completely ignoring my expressed earnest wish for us to have a real, adult-to-adult conversation, without all of the insults, accusations, threats, and rage manipulations? I'm referring here to what has been included in Dark December. I don't imagine you have bothered to listen, about how all this texting BS is for the birds, who understand that the only thing that's guaranteed by calling you on the phone is to be on the receiving end of another one of your rage episodes, so you can manipulate the conversation and hang up on me, as happened today, or yesterday. Time is funny here. But I've digressed. Here's a rotten piece of gristle you've tossed my way. I'm addicted to the drama, but you're out. I am actually unable to find words that can fully convey to you how disgusted, repulsed, abused, and tormented I am by this thing that you are calling drama, and to which you have accused me of being addicted, while you've conveniently declared that you're out. Do you know who was out when all of this drama was first revealed to them and was completely at peace with themselves months ago? You guessed it. How can you even begin to justify making the logical leap that you have made in order to put me in your ugly, twisted frame? I came back on the promise of washing the drama away, cleaning ourselves up, and caring for one another. I put my heart back together and I trusted that's what you were offering me. And then you slammed the dungeon door and locked me in the darkness to punish me for eternity. Long story short. You took advantage of the fact that I am so loving, understanding, compassionate, and forgiving to lure me in and trap me in your stupid poopy pupa. Sucking it dry. So, when I'm asking you to be honest with me, to please use your words lucidly and tell me your side of things or at least give me some guidance in my interpretation of what I think you might be saying, it's because that's what people who love, trust, honor, and respect each other at least try to do. It's like a common value for people. So, this goes back to your forced reality, accusation, which is another logical fallacy because all of my messages are questions and yours are all exclamations. You don't ask me questions. You tell me to take it or leave it. Only you don't say that. I have to figure it out, which means it's not like making an honest choice because the deliberate withholding of that truth perpetrates a deception against me, and so the balance is tipped against me and you assume illegitimate power and control through manipulation because I'm under the assumption that we're on even territory. But you won't let that happen. Forcing a reality. I continue to be actually disgusted at your apparent lack of shame, or any awareness whatsoever, for how your choice to give her? Which shoulder would possibly impact the feelings, emotional, of your highly sensitive 500%, my love is pure, one and only beloved who you can trust would never do the same to you in a million years. That's the drama you're talking about. That's the nightmare you're afraid of. But you don't get it. Killing me is like breaking a mirror, it won't change what you see in the next one. But you're not finished, because we haven't even gotten to your cool victim control story yet. This is the picture in which you framed me, and I have come to understand it is your take it or leave it offer, to which I replied that I left it months ago and I'm only here for you to frame because you dishonestly lured me into this fucked up trap of yours. That's not my drama. When I thought you said, we both did things we're not proud of, we didn't intend to hurt each other, but we can see that we did, we're learning and growing together, and we love each other. And so I said yes. And I reluctantly trusted you, but I made that choice because I actually care about you. Then you walked out and slammed the dungeon door with your control narrative, and have held me hostage ever since. The very first thing, the most important part about this cool story, is that you have done nothing underhanded, or deceptive, or hypocritical, or manipulative, dishonoring, disrespectful, hurtful, or cruel for which you should ever even be asked to consider that you might have any feelings of guilt, or shame, or God forbid, shared responsibility. That's number one. We all know who the bad guy is here, see? He's the one in the dungeon. Bad man. He destroyed this relationship. Footnote, this relationship was destroyed when I walked away after my ex is here, send the men with guns, and I love you and I want to reconcile, another one of your honeypot deceptions that caused cognitive dissonance and real danger of cardio infarction for me before I realized that you were fucking with me some more. If you had said, come back, I'm not sorry for anything, I'm just not done punishing you, I would not have been persuaded to entangle any further with what you are calling drama. Sorry, back to the control story. So, according to the construct that you have put in place between us, I should say instead of us, because you are so committed to this narrative that I believe I may never understand, you're giving me a second chance, but I must be willing to accept number one, you are the innocent and misunderstood victim of the great evil I have done by ever even possibly considering the idea that you may have crossed any lines, and therefore I owe you an eternity of penitence. The sentence that you would condemn me to says that I am mentally unstable, you need help. I read books and do meditations every day, so don't look at me, you need to do the work and I want to know what your plan is and go to your therapy meetings with you, and I'm not saying you should get on meds, but here's a whole bunch of research about it, but don't ever mention it because I only sent it to you either because I can't be bothered to read through all the crap that I send you, or as a convenient setup so I can judge you for it later while at the same time denying any responsibility for sending it to you, but you'll never know because I won't tell you. Where's the fun, i.e. drama, in that? I really don't know what else you're trying to pass off on me anymore because it's exhausting for me to defend your laundry list of false characterizations and ensuing accusations. Things like I'm a manipulative control freak. I swear, I still don't understand how you've managed to construct that one. Is it because I am strong in my inner knowing of who I am and I refuse to be swayed by the fear in your underlying threat to leave me if I'm not willing to accept this role you've created for me? Is the reality that I'm forcing the one where I get to keep my dignity and allow myself to be restored to where I was before being led into your torture chamber with the promise of a lie? There's your brick wall. Boundary. Why would my boundary have changed? Why would I have come back at all if you had not promised me that your boundaries changed? We're still stuck in the poopy story, and I'm feeling pretty drained because that's what happens in here, but I'm going to drag this thing to the finish line. From what I can understand, you are saying that I'm a paranoid, narcissistic, manipulative, mentally unstable, accusatory, controlling addict and that I can't be trusted, so it's understandable that you're always going to need to protect yourself from my words, and you're probably going to have to ignore my texts a lot just for your own well-being, but as long as I understand that I could never make up for the horrible, evil, low-down, rotten, dirty, filthy thing that I did when I called into question your integrity, and I'm willing to be guilted into any subservient behavior and deny my inner self in favor of the character you cast me as, you're willing to give me a second chance. But that's not a promise this relationship will hold your interest, so take it or leave it. That's where everything inside me explodes at once. I already left it. I came back with your promise that things had changed. I didn't come back for the same deal that I had already left. I didn't come back on the promise that I would return to the same deal that I had already left. Why would I have rejected the deal, and then been persuaded by you to return to the very same thing that I had already rejected? What fucking insanity is that? Now you've got me locked up in here, twisted on the rack, and you're bored all of a sudden because I'm not buying your stupid story about how you're my victim. So, you casually walk away and tell me, you're free. But you've left me starved, confused, and strapped to the rack with the door locked. And what is my crime? What have I done? How have I hurt you?